So you wanna start a war in the age of icons? So you wanna be immortal with a loaded gun? So you wanna start a war? So you wanna start a war? Bang. Shots fired. Pain is what you desire.
And we are live! Woo! Oh my goodness, it is a blessing every time I make it through that without collapsing, you guys. Welcome back once again to the fabulous HotBox in the fabulous and historic Ming Lounge of the even more fabulous and historic Republic Cafe. I am your host, Christopher Boatwright. Joining me this evening will be Hannah S.K. Let's give it up for Hannah. Hannah, wave to the room. And she will be co-hosting with me this evening. Let's get it fired up. Tell you a little bit about the room. We do record your sets here. If you get a little bit too hot for the HotBox, let me know. I can edit you out of the thing. And we put a really embarrassing, this fucking chicken shit censored themselves logo, but you know, whatever, shit happens. Some of you guys, some of you fucking nerds might have jobs one of these days, or aspirations, whatever fucking nerdy shit people go in for. Right, laugh at that shit. Fucking fuck aspirations. Oh my god. Hope is paralyzing, man. All right, I know I'm coming across a little fucking dour. I had a thought today and it just bummed me out, you know? I love comic books. Thank you. I thank you for the sympathy. Anybody in here love comic books? Any fucking comic book fans in here? Hell yeah, right? This is kind of, I mean, the whole culture. You can fucking deny it if you want. There's a whole network and 50 shows, so bullshit. That's like people say, no, we don't do meth. I'm sorry, the fucking sales numbers are making you guys have to lie. Okay, comic books are popular, you liars. I know it. And the thing we all accept, right, is that, like, Kal-El, this is like the big one. This is the nerd drop if you're on a date with somebody who's wearing a comic book shirt. Kal-El means hope, right? Like, that's what the S means, not Superman. It means hope on his fucking shirt. And that seems dope. That seems cool. Hope is nice. You know, we all bought into it for about 8 years for a while. But what that also fucking means is that Kal-El, Mr. and Mrs. L, all the fucking relatives of that family literally walk around with the word hope on their fucking jumpers all the time. Everybody on the whole fucking planet of Krypton's just got slogans on the front of their shirt, like shit that you'd see in an office job, you know? Like Zod actually means hang in there, baby, or some shit like that. It's a fucking planet of nerds. I'm glad it blew up. Jesus Christ. I don't feel like I have like a lot of childish interests because I'm just like repping comic books real hard. That's kind of true. There's a lot of jealousy with that too. When you're like a 40-ish old person and you know you're still into childish things, it's hard to say, man, you know, all we had was like Micronauts was our coolest fucking thing when we were a kid. You know, there's a lot of jealousy when you think about like kids. What are they? You know, what do you kids got today? They got fucking high-speed pornography on every fucking device.
Yeah.
High-speed fucking pornography in HD. You know, like, I didn't know people were that unattractive when I was young. It would have saved me a lot of fucking time.
True.
HD fucking pornography. You can get fucking alcoholic root beer now. There's every fucking soda pop, fucking flavor of root beer with alcohol in it. You get Coca-Cola with alcohol in it. Fucking, and then there's just like every kind of fucking video game conceivable these kids can have anytime they want. You know, when I was a kid, our pedophiles didn't have any of that fucking shit. There's jealousy, whatever, man. That's sour grapes. It's sour grapes. We had VHS porn and we liked it, goddammit. All we got when we were a kid, VHS porn, Mad Dog 2020, shoving your head between two cushions until you couldn't move anymore, you know? Too much? You guys, I just wanted to fucking raise the bar because the kind of talent that's coming to the stage next is about to fire it up. We were talking about some punk rock godhood coming up to the stage. The kind of fucking energy that, well, let's just say it's like if G.G. Allen was kind of a Mormon and took baths. You know what I mean? Not so rapey, you know? Police are heroes, you guys. Coming to the stage is somebody I enjoy very much. I think you will too. Let's give it up for the fabulous, the entertaining, the engaging, the engorging, Brenton Pregmore!
Thank you.
We'll see how this goes. I wish I could do my own introduction because I really love SNL. So I would just come in like, ladies and gentlemen, it's Saturday Night Live, starring Henry Kissinger. Thank you. Tonight is an excellent opportunity to talk about the transition of the Chinese economy from a centralized socialist one to a free market. And musical guest, Bob Dylan. Ah, jeez Louise, I can't find my knees. I didn't think you'd laugh at that. You know, one common thing I hear constantly is the financial struggle we all go through. You know, everyone's talking about how they have to live paycheck to paycheck. And, you know, I really, aspire to live that way, you know? Like, I'm living like 8 ball to 8 ball every day. Any punk rockers in the audience? Woo! There's 1. Woo! 2. I was gonna say you're being shy, myself. Do any of you own a car? Woo! How old were you when you got your license?
50.
Oh, I ruined my bit. But none of my friends have ever had cars, ever. And I think partially it's because Portland has such a good public transportation system. But when I moved out of my last apartment, I had to do it by backpack. Just backpack after backpack on the bus. That's terrible. We just literally, not a joke, we just got back from the dispensary down the street, the really overpriced jumpy one. And they gave me that giant, like a manila envelope sized bag, this child safety bag. And I'm like, this is the only bag plastic bag they'll give you in town, and like they force you to take it. And I'm like, I should charge you 10 cents. Hear girls, I hear everybody talking about big dick energy, you know. But I realize that I have big Andy Dick energy, and it has way less cachet. There's human body contains about 200 milligrams of salt. It's about 40 teaspoons. You know, like just think how many Himalayan people it takes to make one of those lamps. Truly a senseless waste of disappearing people. You guys like Carl Sagan? Yeah. Did you know that his TV special, the famous one, it was actually about Kramer from Seinfeld? I'll let that sit for a second. You know, do you guys like pro wrestling? Professional wrestling? I used to when I was a kid, and I feel like Diamond Dallas Page, Christopher's got me. Yeah, I know he's excited. And, I know my Aspergian level of knowledge retention, like when I was 9 years old, just has all come flooding back because I just can't watch the news anymore. I got really involved, and like I think that being politically aware and engaged is kind of like vowing to get in shape. It's like you start out with such good intentions, and you do it every day, and then you're like, you know what, I deserve a treat. I'll watch some ECW chair matches. It's fine. And then you start to fall behind, and now I'm just depressed thinking about it. There's no end to that joke. Oh dear God. Oh dear God, I wrote myself into a corner. I started to clean out my email instead of just letting it fill up with like 20,000 emails. I've been going through and unsubscribing from email chains, and I went through my Facebook and went through all the friend requests, and I was looking at all the fake profiles and all like the cis men who are all nasty, and I'm like, this is like human spam that I'm just sending to the spam folder of life, which is not where I want to be. All right, Rasputin's dick. You want to hear about that?
Yeah.
I give enough time. You know Rasputin. They have his dick in a big jar. And it's the second time that they've found the penis. The first time, after inspecting it, they realized it was just a giant sea cucumber. It's 12 inches long, the real one. So I'm like, how are they, how do they know that the second one is the real one? I just feel bad for the creepy guy who won the auction and he brought home the first penis and he takes home the pickle jar and he pulls it out of the brine and he starts sucking it. And he's like, ugh, this isn't Rasputin's dick. This is a sea cucumber. Disgusting. I didn't grow up in a religious household. They were just kind of like secular hippies. So I'm just kind of vague, new age, secularness. And sometimes I believe in God, and a lot of times I feel like forced to believe in fate, but everything I've ever read or experienced tells me that God doesn't exist. And but I can never make my mind up about it. So I think that God exists intermittently. And so like when things are good, it's like a flickering TV set, and like God exists, and like those hockey guys won, but then it flickers out, and the Holocaust happens, or like the last 30 years of my life, real lapse in the signal. My name is Breton. That's B as in Bravo. R, you can hold. Give me larger applause in a minute. BRETONPRIGMORE. Bravo Romeo. Echo Tango Oscar November. Add me on Facebook and we'll be friends. I'll accept your friend request if you don't look fake. But I need friends and people to talk to, clearly. So thank you. Woo! Give it up for me!
Gross! One more time. Oh, hey! Okay. Keep it going for Breton. I'm not going to pretend to know how to take this mic off the fucking stage. Push the button on the front.
Keeping it real.
It's alright, I got it. One more time from me for figuring out how to get the mic. Woo! Hey, you like wrestling? I know vaguely amount of wrestling. I like making the noise woo. Woo! Yeah. I've been making that noise my entire life until someone was like, right on, Ric Flair. Which was confusing to me. And I was like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, fucking Ric Flair, the old school wrestler. Like, woo is his catchphrase. It's like the natural noise you make when you're excited is his catchphrase. Like, how did he get away with this? Like, this is bullshit. To me, it's like if someone was telling me a story and then they were like, hey, remember that guy from that thing? And I'm like, oh yeah. And they're like, oh, right on, Kool-Aid Man. Think about it, yeah.
Oh yeah!
Alright, I probably am not going to pronounce his name correctly because I wrote it on my finger awfully. Our next comic, I'm sure they're very funny. Get over Thomas McCrae!
Thomas! She just handed this to me. She's like, this is up to you. Like, I know. That's why I'm here. I already made that choice, Hannah. Thank you. Wait, let's all do it. Like, 1, 2, 3. Woo!
That's your boy!
Bro, I gotta tell you, that's the most masculine way to wear women's clothes, professional wrestling. Like, it's like, you wanna get really yoked up, feel good about yourself, put on a leotard, and throw a dude into a casket, professional wrestling.
Yes.
Fucking sucks Hulk Hogan got racist.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, honestly, he only gets racist during sex, apparently, and, like, I didn't watch it. I had a friend explain it to me, because I'm like, oh, how'd that happen? He's like, well, you didn't watch the Gawker part? I'm like, nah, I saw that. I was just, like, going right to face fucking. That's what I masturbate to. Okay? Woo! Who the fuck wants to watch Hulk Hogan fuck? Through a window. And somehow they're fucking, like, I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing. I met a porn star, well, independent porn star, probably not a porn star. Into tentacle porn, does anyone know what tentacle porn is? Also a thing I didn't look up. I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. I mean, that's cool.
That's fair.
I only look up porn to find people if I think I went to high school with them. That's about it. That's the way I grew up in Ohio, and I tried not to be white trash, but then I got abducted by aliens, and then it's just a fucking rap. You can't fucking say you're not white trash if you get abducted by aliens. They're really not looking for the best and the brightest. They're looking for one dude that's high off glue in a cornfield, and that was me. People complain about the anal probe. Those motherfuckers milked me. Might be a fucking planet of me somewhere, then they just drop me off. Just a fucking planet of me. Just like all the mosquitoes look vaguely like me. It's a terrible idea. My mom doesn't like that joke. She's like, we're not white trash. I'm like, Mom, you retired to a trailer park community. It's pretty much... That's almost as bad as being abducted by aliens in the White Trash Hall of Fame. The only way I could beat that is if I blew up a trailer making meth.
Yummy.
I'm not quite sure how yummy goes with like blowing up a trailer with meth. I'm a big fan. She's like, that sounds delicious. Oh man, I've never sold crack, but on purpose. But sometimes you like meet up with a friend off Facebook. You're like in town. I was back in Cleveland, and there's just a vicious game of 2K. Anybody play NBA 2K? Yeah, one guy. All right, dope. It gets vicious sometimes. And this guy got a fucking page. This is how long ago this was. His pager went off. He asked me to go downstairs and just, sell crack. And I was just like, all right. I smoked a couple blunts. He gave me the vague parameters. He's like, yeah, just go down there, look for the crackhead. And he just like, he'll throw money at the ground, you just step on it, and then you just throw the crack wherever and he'll die for it. You can spit on him. That was his like, he's mid-game, but he's like, he looked at me, he's like, you can spit on him. I'm like, alright. And I'm like leaving, I'm like, how do I know who the fuck to sell crack to? He's like, dude, just look for the crackhead. And he was right. I just walked out the door, and there's like 40 people out there. I saw the crackhead saw me. The crackhead just walked up and just threw $10. I was thinking I was gonna throw the crack like somewhere soft. And he could just go like get it, but instead I kind of like threw it like that. And I went to go pick it up, but he just dove like Ozzie Smith. This is like how bad my baseball reference is. Ozzie Smith hasn't played baseball in 30 years. First shortstop I could think of. Just dove like he's trying to catch a fucking football to save the Super Bowl. And just like cracks himself up on the ground and just eats it, but he like looked really happy that he caught it. Like at the same time, like he's like looking like he just ate shit, but happy. Just like, all right, cool, off my bucket list. I had a bad glory hole experience once. I'm not quite sure what constitutes a good glory hole experience. I've never had one of those. It starts with like, honestly, I'm just not that trusting. I feel like if I ever put my dick in a hole, it's not coming back. Like I don't see any reason for my dick to come back if I stick it through a hole. But I was taking a shit one time, I was pretty drunk, and I got to this bar only because my friend told me it was the worst bar he'd ever seen. He's like, you wanna go see this thing? I'm like, yes I do. Yes I do. It's got clown paintings everywhere, and I tried to fucking like be a gentleman and fart outside. But I'm old, and that became a Deion Sanders, like kind of like funky town walk, like where's the bathroom, where's the bathroom? You sit down, sometimes you don't realize there's toilet paper there for you. Sometimes you don't realize there's a hole next to your face. You're so excited they have toilet paper. And sometimes the dude tries to talk to you, and you got Taco Bell diarrhea that shoots back into you. And you just have to start thinking about your life and what you're going to do if a dick comes through. I came up with 2 solutions. One was I was gonna grab the dick, just break that shit off, just break it down. I also just thought, maybe it's a shark, maybe I could just go. And he'll walk away. Alright, anyway, I'm Thomas McCrone.
It's gonna go for Thomas McCrone, everybody. Oh my goodness, I'm such not a sports guy that when he said Ozzie Smith, I thought Ozzie Davis, the elderly black gentleman from Evening Shade. It's like, why is Ozzie Davis jumping on the ground for? I don't know. Really, that's not the first time I've made that exact same fucking mistake in my head either. Oh my goodness, you guys. You know, I feel like I might be biting off more than I can chew, but let's just talk about women for a second. I'm a big admirer of women. Women have a lot going on for them, not the least of which their primary gender opposition is dudes. And have you looked? It shouldn't be a problem. But I'm starting to think women are like the DNC of genders, you know? Like, you should be winning. Why the fuck aren't you winning? Look at who you're up against. How can you not fucking defeat that? It's me, you guys. Jesus Christ, man. There's no reasonable system where I should be one of the more competent people in the environment, you know? Dropping the ball. It's got to be a fucking setup, right? That's just a whole theory about the DNC. Don't get me started on Bernie. Come on now.
Yeah.
I know,
See
right?
my thing?
Oh yes, I did see that online. I did see that.
Okay, no one liked it.
I liked it. I think did I not like it? I'm trying to be with more
Usually
withholding
I get a lot of
online.
likes, and I got like 5, and I was like, this shit is radical.
Well, let's address why I don't give out more public shows of support on the internet. Most of you don't know me, which is to your benefit in most circumstances. I am occasionally considered a contentious figure in my community. Currently, I'm considered an absent figure from my community. I am mostly banned, blocked, and I don't exist. And I'm not even a right-winger. That's how bad I am. I've got to say some really fucked up shit to be a socialist and still get fucking banned in this town. But I just want to go ahead and apologize right now. I killed Kobe Bryant. I did, you guys, I did. I'm sorry. Here's the thing, in my defense, has nothing to do with that shit from 17 years ago. I don't have a dog in that fight. I received some criticism for not liking another dead person. And so what I thought I would do is create another dead person that people I knew who criticized me would then themselves be criticized for not liking. It's a whole situation. I just did it for irony, really. But unfortunately, all those people have blocked me, so I'm not getting to enjoy the irony at all. It's fucking bastards. It's fucking terrible. It's fucking terrible. I'll give you one more joke before I get out of here. By the way, is that overly optimistic to say one more joke? Did you qualify anything I said up to that point as a joke? I don't blame you. It's fine. Seriously though, why aren't women? Come on, I mean, why aren't you winning? God damn. Not that good. Oh, this was in the news this week. I watch a lot, I read a lot of news because I'm elderly. Nazi seducer, what the fuck is her first name? Her last name's Overstein. Freddie. She goes by Freddie Overstein. She was a Dutch member of the Dutch Resistance. Joined the Dutch Resistance. She was 14 years old. You guys might have read. She's the girl who used to seduce fucking SS guys, take them out of the woods and like kill them and shit like that. You guys know what I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
I know. It sounds like why isn't Tarantino making that movie, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's fucking great, man. Give it up for her, fucking crushing it, crushing the woman game, fucking doing what she can with what she's got. But let's not fucking rush too quickly to say, well, why aren't the women of today doing that? And I'll tell you exactly why the women of today aren't fucking doing that. It's because Nazis used to wear Hugo Boss and work out, okay? Nazis now wear a bunch of shit from Cabela's and tap-out fucking pants. It's not cool. It's not a good look. Nobody wants to seduce that in the woods. Incels, man. Or vol cells, as I don't know. In my generation, it was just called unfuckable, and we stuck with that. It's fine, you guys. Did you know who doesn't seem unfuckable yet? I haven't heard their jokes yet. I forgot your first name.
Darius.
Let's give it up for Mr. Darius Rosevise!
Alright, this is my very first time, and I made the mistake of inviting people from work. And a lot of them showed up, so I feel like I gotta give you guys a disclaimer, like, the views and opinions that I'm about to express are not necessarily the views of the guy you work with, so just still talk to me on Monday and please don't tell on me. Let's start easy. Anybody have kids? Any parents? Any parents in this audience? I don't think people should have kids. At the very least, it should be like getting a dog. Like, if you really, really care about specific breeding and you want to know the genetics, like, you can have a fresh one, sure, but the rest of us get to make you feel like a dick for not adopting or rescue. Like, that just should be the standard. Also, like dogs, like, if you want to have a kid, especially a baby, you should have to get a license. Like, you know, in the state of Oregon, you have to get a license to cut hair. Anybody can have a baby. You have to take a test. You have to go to school for a bunch of hours, take several tests, pay a bunch of fees, and then you get to cut hair. I feel like we gotta raise the bar. Like, there has to be a similar standard for having a baby. And I think I know where to start. I think if you want to have a baby, you should start with a mediocre adult. Like, you gotta take an adult who can wipe its own ass, feed itself, handle its basic necessities, and help them either achieve a major life goal or become a better person in some meaningful way, right? Like, lower the stakes. Let's lower the bar a little bit. Let's lower the stakes and get some practice rounds in. Like, start with an adult. If you do a good job, okay, work back to like a teenager. They're kind of a pain in the ass, but they can still feed themselves, and eventually if you keep passing the test, you get to have a baby. And if not, no babies. Like, the point of having a baby, right, is to raise a good adult. So if you can't do that when you're starting with an already adult, like, fuck you, you don't get to have kids. It's too much risk of you having a shitty adult. That's why I think these, like, anti-abortionists are really playing the wrong game, right? Like, this strategy just doesn't make any sense anymore. For a long time it did. Like, don't get me wrong, like, controlling the general populace through, like, making people have babies they don't want, great idea. It's been working for a long time. But like, we get it now. Like, we see it happening, and it's not getting any better, and it's just driving more wealth inequality, which eventually is going to cause a revolution. So I think it's a short-term plan. Like, rich people are always going to have abortions. Like, that's never going to stop. So really, when we say we don't want abortion to be legal, we're just saying we want it to be harder for poor people, especially poor women, to get rid of these, like, shitting, screaming, sanity-destroying little anchors that prevent them from any sort of social upward mobility, right? Like, that's what we're doing. And it's been working for a long time. It's a great plan. But, you know, I think it's just, it's gotten too far. It would be great to even things out a little bit, or just lean into it and go for the revolution, right? I'm for it. I'm for it. So you know what? Have a lot of babies. Everybody have babies. And if you ever hear about me firebombing a Planned Parenthood or something horrible like that, just know I did it for the right reasons. My heart's in the right place. I want us all to be even again, you know? You guys didn't like that, you're gonna hate this. Because to be fair, it was less of a joke and more of like a specific incitement to violence, so fair. I told you I invited a lot of people to work. I don't think he's here, so, and you guys aren't gonna tell on me. But there's a guy I work with that I can't fucking stand. Like, it's not fair. I don't know the guy. You know, I don't know anything about him. He just makes my daily life like 3% harder. He's like a little bit more annoying, and I hope he dies. Like, I hope he's dead. I hope he decided to come here and support me tonight and got hit by a bus on the way. I hope he's dead. I hope you guys flag me down and say he's dead right now. Actually, that's a lot of witnesses who just heard me threaten this guy, so I hope he's not dead. I hope he dies soon, but not like suspiciously soon. Speaking of suspicious deaths, if I ever decide I'm gonna commit suicide, which I'm not, but if I do, I'm gonna do two things first. I'm gonna start a very public feud with a celebrity or a politician, accuse them of all kinds of horrible stuff, totally baseless. And then I'm going to send a bunch of letters to my friends and family, make a bunch of social media posts saying that I'm of sound mind and body, and I would never consider suicide. And then I'm going to go jump off the roof of his building or something, you know, like maybe turns a bunch of poison that can be traced back to a company he worked at 10 years ago or something, like just enough breadcrumbs for the internet to never let it go. You guys are great. This is going well. This is going to be my last one, though. I hate to be the guy to say it, but God's a rapist, right? Like, God is a rapist. Like, any modern interpretation of consent and, like, power disparity abuse to coerce sexual compliance, like, that's for sure a rapist. I'm not happy about it. But like, if being more famous than somebody else is enough for us to like question and have a higher sense of scrutiny around consent or sexual relationships, like a 14-year-old girl before the internet and the creator of the universe, right? Like that's, on a scale of like Bill Cosby to Michael Jackson, that's at least a Kevin Spacey. I mean, imagine being Mary, like this angel just shows up and says, hey, you know how there's a guy that created your whole universe, controls everything about your life? He's into you. He wants to put a baby in you. Is that cool? I just don't think we could be cool with that now. Thanks.
Everybody keep it going for Darius. Go. Is this your first time here or just in general? Ever? You definitely need to quit. Because you're gonna surpass the rest of us very quickly. That was too good of a first set. I don't like that. Yeah. They like you, I guess. I don't know.
Where they hate that other guy at work?
Yeah, that's true. You have some valid points about the kids, though. Like I have 3 kids, and yeah, there's no applause for that, right? Like having 3 kids is cool, but sometimes I'm like envious of people that get to wake up voluntarily. You know, occasionally, just give me one fucking morning, like, cause I'm lucky if I don't wake up with all 3 kids already in my bed with me. Which is like a trap in itself, like the whole circumstance how it goes, because like the first kid will sneak in while I'm sleeping and I won't wake up, right? And then by the time the second kid gets in, I wake up but I can't tell them to fuck off because I already let the first kid in, right? You just don't want to be the third kid because then you get the dog spot at the end of the bed, you know? Alright, your next comic is, I'm sure very funny, I'm reading it off my hand. Give it up for Trevor Coker!
Thank God I didn't have to take that thing off fucking my stand. Alright! You guys seem pretty into it. You guys notice that this place has a pretty weird smell?
Yeah, talk about it.
You know, I wouldn't even categorize it as weird. It's a smell I would expect from what I have seen. But you know what? Here's the good part. I've never felt so comfortable to have nervous farts. Fart it up if you're here. Don't worry. It might help. I don't know if this is relatable, but when I go to pet like a strange cat, I do that pretty often, and they like just slowly walk away. I react the exact same way as like a guy with really low self-esteem who gets shot down at a bar. I'm like, come on, like, make me the weirdo about it? You were giving me eyes. I think I'm just walking around trying to pet every strange cat I see. God, think you're better than me, cat? I was listening to this podcast, and in it, the lady said she doesn't poop anymore. And so I put my dishes down, and I listened very intently. She said she gets like a colonic 3 times a week. And yeah, there's a lot of versions of the American dream. But mine now involves that I don't ever have to poop again. I didn't even know that was an option. Though I will say that's kind of a slippery slope. Like, there's no consequences to your diet. Like, I don't have any dietary restrictions so far, so I don't even have to deal with that. Enchiladas for breakfast every fucking day. You guys think that Jesus would have caught on so well if he was more specific about all the sins that he was forgiving? You know what I mean? Like he started out and he was like, Karen, you've been stealing a lot of shit. That's not cool. But it's all right. We're going to be okay. Tom, what you're doing with your sheep, I'm not even technically sure that's a sin, but not cool. Don't worry, it's covered. Jeff, you rascal. Killing all those kids? Come on. Don't worry, you're covered. People would be like, whoa, wait a second.
let's talk about Jeff again. I saw this show, and in it, the lady had an affair with a ghost. And yeah, blaming an affair on a ghost is a 2,000-year-old trick, but I like to think it's true. Just to imagine those fights, you know? Like, she's washing dishes. Like, you couldn't become corporeal when my mom was here, but to fuck me again, you're always on the spot. There's ectoplasm everywhere. So I'm from Idaho, and I told somebody I grew up there, and they went, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I was like, trying to explain, like, don't worry, we have like running water and electricity, all that shit. And then in that same conversation, I told him 3 different stories about fighting a rooster. And it wasn't even the same rooster. It was 3 different roosters, 3 different times. They're fucking Riley, man. When I moved here, I had to call like a shit ton of property managers. And on like all of their answering machines, it starts out with, "If you have an emergency, please call 911. And enough of them do that it makes me think people are calling it every day like, "Oh, there's a small fire in our kitchen and it's getting pretty hard to breathe. So if you could send someone like next Tuesday, be most appreciated." My sister finds a lot of stuff up people's butts.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a professional. I mean, someone paid her to do it. She's not on like exciting scavenger hunt or anything like that. But one of the things she found was like a mag light, like not like a keychain mag light, like a fucking police issue, kill an intruder mag light. And the guy gave her like a real long story, and she was like, "But the weird thing is, like, he said he was searching for stuff, but the light part was pointed down." And I was like, that's where it hit you, that he didn't accidentally jam like half a foot of steel in his most sensitive parts? Okay. She's a bit gullible from time to time. Being from like a place like Idaho and moving out to the West Coast, I've noticed you guys are very sex positive. Woo! Which is pretty awesome. But I have noticed there's no amount of sex positivity that's going to take the shame out of returning a cock ring for the second time. What? Well, because the first time, they're understanding. They're like, "Oh, this is clearly manufactured. I'm so sorry this happened." The second time, they look at you pretty questioningly, like, are you trying to unclog your sink with this? Like, this is for sex, dude. You're using it wrong. I saw this documentary, and it was about a hypnotherapist who helped out sexual assault victims who were attacked by aliens.
Ooh, go on.
Cool. It was pretty interesting. One of the most interesting parts is she was like real sure that when Jesus comes back, God's gonna fucking lay the hammer down on all these rapey aliens. And I don't think those are like necessarily conflicting ideologies, but like, if aliens are coming down from the heavens and raping people, God's dead, lady. Like, there's no fucking justice left. And if he's not dead, I got fucking questions. Like, why you make these aliens so horny? And why give them such long fingers? That you should have seen this coming. Come on. Being new here, I've been doing a lot of job interviews. So I've gotten super good at pretending that I'm like into mundane shit. Like I'll go into a carpet place and I'll be like, they'll be like, "Why do you want to work at a carpet place?" And I'll be like, "Dude, 'cause I fucking love carpets, that's why." I remember being like 5 years old and like just standing on carpets and I'm like, gonna make this happen for everybody. And it works with almost everything, except I will say, going into a mortician's for a moving bodies job. Because you come in there and they're like, "Why do you want to work here?" And you're like, "Fucking love dead bodies, dude." I remember being 5 years old, finding a dead body, poke the shit out of that thing. All right, my name is Trevor. Thank you so much.
Let's give it up for Trevor Coker, everybody. All right. The Coker is the guy who feeds the coal into the furnace. I don't know if you guys know that or not. little esoteric information. We stay just as shitty, you guys, you know. I mean, if you put up with the rest of that bullshit, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine, you guys. I was just going to do some Kobe material anyways. Can we just be honest and say that Kobe Bryant is lucky that he fucking died in that helicopter crash?
Yeah.
He is, you guys. I don't know if you remember, but I saw the size of that I fucked a chick in Colorado ring. Can you imagine how big that I killed our daughter in a helicopter crash ring would have had to be? Jesus Christ. We're not laughing on a dead child, I swear. I swear to God. Oh my goodness. Should I feel bad? I don't know.
No.
I feel bad all the time anyway, so really my sense of right and wrong is all fucked up by biology. Oh my goodness. This country has got problems though, man. I'm part of that my family embraces this part of their generational identity, which is that we're immigrants, you know, we're fucking filthy Jewish cabbage eating immigrants, you know? And my family loves that, man. They love that immigrant identity, even though they vote for people who seem to hate it. But I realize, you know what it is? I think what the problem is, I was thinking about this not long ago, because my name is Christopher, which is not a common name for a Jewish person to have.
No.
There's like been one, I think, in history that people know about. But that's part of the problem, you see. I know, even today, there are Jews with real fucking Jewy names. A lot of them are getting arrested in association with Trump right now. There's still Hymens. There's still Jewish families naming their fucking kids Hyman.
Yeah.
All right? And that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem is when parents used to give their fucking kids these shitty fucking ethnic names and burden them with them, we were looking forward to the next wave of fucking weirdos with dumb names to come over here to take attention off of our fucking lame shit. You know, when you're named Hyman, man, you can't wait for a boatload of Giuseppes to show up, you know? Damn. I don't know, maybe that's not it. I think it is, though. I think it is, though. Well, I'm going to bring up the next comedian, something I am very excited, somebody I am very excited to see in the room tonight. We haven't seen her in a little while. She's running her own little fucking scene out there, making it fucking happen. I like to say, you know, that it's a don't you want me baby. She learned everything she got from... No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I hosted her one fucking time. She's got skills. It's fine. I'm not jealous. But again, why aren't you women crushing it more like this one right here? Let's give it up for the lady, Miss Amber Gill, everybody!
Button on the front.
It's on the back, but yeah.
Ooh, that's fun.
Oh.
This is a really cool mic. I love it. It's very retro. What do you mean, little mic? What do you fucking mean by that? I like how you just really lean into like offensive material. Like, yeah, it's like I have that initial instinct, like no, and then you just go like a little bit extra. I'm like, I can't. I have to just let go. Can't control people. No matter how much you want to. Yeah, the odor here, I love it. It's just like I came in and I was like, memories, like the corner. I always find it fascinating because it's just, you know, your olfactory sense actually accommodates really quickly. Like usually if there's a smell, like you walk into whatever, someone cooking and you're like, oh, that's a great smell, and then pretty quickly you're like not smelling it. But here there seems to be this constant wave for wave that allows you to go, oh, there it is again, like every 2 seconds. It's kind of fascinating. Are there any of the coworkers left, or was that the end of the... What do you guys do for a living? I'm so curious. Nike, okay. You laughed a lot. I was like, I bet their job is boring. Which, not in a bad way. I have a boring job. I make people laugh all the time. It is a beautiful thing. It's good to have stability, I hear. You, my friend, I don't know, do you know Kyle Adams? You're like his doppelganger, like maybe like a before and after. If he lost, I don't know, some weight or something, but you're really close. Do you know who Kyle Adams is?
Are you talking about me?
No, sorry. It's hard to tell. Sure, you could also be a relative maybe, but this one behind you, if you want to turn around and check this out, it's like, what? Whoa, hey, is that Kyle Adams' cousin?
We should be friends.
It's like, yeah, he's a cool dude, so all complimentary, but it kept like, I was like, wait, what? It's confusing. But you know, you guys all do look alike, so it is hard for us, all the white males here. A lot of beards, a lot of beards, glasses, hats, all black. Chris brought up incels. I actually did a little research today. I'd heard of incels and I was like, that's weird. I never really like investigated, and I took some time from my very busy schedule to start looking it up. And if you're not familiar, it's these, literally it means like involuntary celibates, aka like frustrated virgins. And like, so, you know, if there's ever a time to use the term like whiny little bitches, I feel like these are the dudes. So one of their theories is that like, there's one type of dude that all the women are fucking, and like the pretty dude or the socially adept dude who they call Chad, and that Chad gets all the pussy so that none of the pussy is left for them, like none of it, and they feel like that's really, really unfair. And then in some sort of like plot twist, it's women's fault. I don't really get that. Chad is the one who's like fucking us over, but like women are to blame. I also learned in my research, like Biased News is like really good documentary stuff, but yeah, there's a lot of, ingrained in this community is a lot of like self-loathing. Sorry, I don't mean to offend if anyone's in this community. It just occurred to me there's probably some overlap. A lot of self-loathing, a ton, like a really high suicide rate, which I feel like begs the question of like, is suicide always wrong? Like, do we want to stop all suicide? Sometimes I feel like it's a real black and white issue, but is it? Yeah, so okay, here are my thoughts about incels. Not that as a woman, my thoughts are important, but here they are. A, get in line. Yeah, we're all trying to get laid. It's not easy. It's a rough world out there. And if you happen to be weird and ugly, get creative. It's like, we all know we're not all Chads.
Baby.
Yeah, you learn to be funny, or maybe you're smart and get rich. Maybe you work for Nike. Or you sell drugs. You figure it out. It's called natural selection. B, I also feel like actually women just want to feel comfortable, safe, and treated decently. So if they're rejecting you, it's not because you're not attractive. They're rejecting who you are as a core person. C, I would say, weirdly, I actually kind of, I hate to admit it, I relate to it a little bit. You know, there's definitely been, for me, it's more like quick, you know, these psychopaths, but for me, it's like these quick flashes, you know, it's like, if I did have a gun, you know, men are really fucked up people, you know, but I know this about myself, I don't own a gun. The order maybe, okay. And then lastly, I feel like if Chad's the one cock blocking you, then go after fucking Chad, take them out. No one's gonna miss Chad, we're cool with that. Okay, I have a minute. Name game. I was going through my phone, I found out, I was reminded that I have like all these pseudonyms for dudes, and then, I don't have time for this. Okay, I'm gonna end it there on just the incel stuff. Sorry, thank you.
Thank you for handing me the mic. Keep it going for Amber. Yeah, she runs a mic on Sundays at the Growlers Tap Room on 82nd. Did you take issue with him saying little Mike?
She runs a little mic over on, yeah.
If we're just talking like square footage though, you do run maybe the smallest fucking mic in town. it's physically, that's all Chris meant, you know?
It's actually like, yeah, I love a technical argument, and technically that is true.
Nerds.
True that.
This room's getting too nerdy.
Small.
Yeah.
In terms of square footage, it is a little mic.
She got my back, you know, but she got my back.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard doing that. It's hard. I feel like I got to tack on a little bit more because having kids was being sold so well in here so far as most comedy events. Like having kids is fun. Like my two sons have synced up their poops. Yeah, did you guys know they do this? Like, I don't know. It's exactly what it fucking sounds like. And next to my toilet in my house is a little toddler potty, and they literally sit next to each other and hang out while they poop. It's adorable. They're 3 and 7. It's adorable. The only thing that's not adorable about it is that the toddler potty is a bucket. Oh. Yeah. That I get to fucking clean out. I don't know how much poop you guys clean up on a daily basis. I hope it's less than me. You know? Alright, our next comic, I'm sure they clean up plenty of poop. Let's give it up for Chris Knudts.
All right. No Nike people left. Good. I was afraid, considering how I'm dressed, I was afraid that every single one of them would take a knee for the whole 7 minutes. I haven't been writing any new jokes lately. Mostly I've been busy being available for my girlfriend. It shows I'm committed, not to being funny, but to having a roof over my head, having someone cook for me, and being pussy whipped, basically. She likes going to those metaphysical stores that sell like the rocks and crystals and stuff. Yeah. And she suffers from migraines, so she's always looking for things to help out. And some of these names are just, I flunked every science class ever, so just pronouncing them is damn near impossible. But I want to be a good boyfriend, so I want to help her find what she's looking for. So I go up to the lady, I said, do you have any of that cellulite? She says, what? I said, yeah, it's like this white creamy stuff, kind of, it looks like cottage cheese, it's like a rock, this clear. It's selenite. No, cellulite, something like that. She's had a lot of issues, not your typical cliche girl issues, but just she was feeling a bit off, and she figured out it had something to do with mercury being in Gatorade or something like that. In reality, it's retrograde. Retrograde see, it doesn't work everywhere. Like I said, I'm committed to being a good boyfriend, not being funny. I can't, I want to watch the news or go online and look at, what's going on in the world. Maybe I could write jokes about that, but it's so fucking depressing because it's just all impeachment, and it's all Ukraine, and it's all this. And I can't even go on Facebook anymore. It stopped being fun years ago because I've got friends on both sides. I've got friends who are very pro-gun, and I've got friends who are anti-everything I love. I like having the variety, I think it's good to have friends from all walks of life. It's not such a bad thing to have someone who looks like me as a friend. If you're into gardening, I have shitloads of fertilizer. Let's say, I'm clean and sober, but I understand recreational drug use. If you're carrying and you don't want to get busted, I'll give you a ride. I've got a trunkload of guns. I don't want to get pulled over either. My girlfriend, she's a good sport. I wanted to get her a pair of those vibrating panties, spice things up a little bit. I'll say, hey babe, let's slip this up there and let's go shopping or out to eat, and like a cliche douchebag, I'll hit the button when the waitress asks you what you want, and it'll be fun. And she says, I don't know, that's gonna take a lot of trust issues. Well, we went hunting this year and drove around for hours with loaded guns in the car, got into an argument about where we wanted to go, and made it home safe. I've had you tied up to the bed with nipple clamps, a butt plug. I've even got a dildo attached to a Sawzall. What do I need to do to earn your trust? She says, well, for starters, you could share the butt plug. I want to go back to better times. I can't go on Facebook because every time I post something that I think is funny, it turns into an argument between, I got friends that are now calling each other names and making threats. It's no funny. I want to go back to better times when we argued about simple things like pineapple on pizza or how to mourn an accused rapist who bought a $10 million diamond ring for his wife and died in a helicopter crash. I mean, I'm not that big of a fan of baseball, so I don't get it. All I'm saying is, why wasn't it Shaq? Why? I mean, for starters, I have seen more odd CG areas of where Shaq's body hurts on Icy Hot commercials than I ever want to fucking see. And secondly, we wouldn't have to see any more of those goddamn General Insurance commercials. You know, for a great low rate, you could go online, maybe Kobe should take a bus next time. Oh. That's a good fucking joke. I work construction. My friends laugh a lot more at my jokes than you guys do, but we're also a bunch of fucking whack jobs. That is all the new material I had, and I still have 2 minutes and 18 seconds left. I could. I usually, I had this big rant. I was going to go off about my boss at work, but we successfully got him fired. So now everything's better, and I have nothing to complain about.
That's good.
I'm also very tired and hooked up. See, here's the thing about. So I mentioned I'm clean and sober. I don't know if you gotta understand alcoholic math, okay? When I say I had a couple, it meant a 6-pack. When I said I had a few drinks, it meant the whole case or the whole bottle. That it's similar to DUI language. You know, when the cop asks you how many of you had, oh, just a few. See, no one else thinks that's funny. In an AA meeting, that fucking kills. Alcoholics get that shit. We laugh at the weirdest shit ever. We'll tell a story about throwing the Christmas tree through the front window, which sounds horrible because you ruin Christmas, and everyone laughs. And then a guy will tell a story about, his kid hit a home run and then tripped on his way to first base or something like that. See, yeah, it's not funny. And go to AA. Entirely different set of humor in AA. See, that's what I don't get is I have no good inspiration. I have 30 seconds left. Maybe I should start doing some heavy duty narcotics or drinking more. I smoke 2 packs a day. I envy you fuckers because you get to shoot up, smoke, drink, whatever you want, and you're funny. I'm a boring white guy who doesn't drink and works construction, and I look like this. I mean, you take one look at me, you know who I voted for. Gary Johnson! Anyways, drink up, drive fast, have a good night.
Let's keep it going for Chris Knudsen, everybody. Oh my God, listen to this fucking 12-stepper bitchin'. You guys get to do all the blah, 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 blah. God damn it, I'm a fucking 12-stepper too. That's right, I'm a fucking I've got codependence addiction. The one fucking thing I can't do, oh yeah, you gotta ride my codependent coattails too, you fucking asshole. Let me tell you something, I wish I was a fucking heroin junkie, man. When you're a heroin junkie, people don't say shit to you. You just need to find the right heroin, Chris. You just need to shoot up with the right size needle and your life will be straightened out, man. But now, when you're a fucking codependent, you just need to get some pussy. You just need to get laid. Motherfucker, the last time that shit happened to me, I wound up in fucking Florida. Alright? That's not fucking funny, man. Without being on meth, you know how bad Florida is when you're not a fucking methamphetamine addict? Jesus fucking Christ. You make choices, though, man. I make bad choices. I make bad choices sober. There's an expression we have in the program, in the worker program, it's called being a dry drunk. It means you act like a fucking asshole when you have no good excuse. And a buddy of mine, he went for California, he left his pomade, his hair grease in my fucking apartment, right? I was curious, but you could see my fucking problem. If there's any blind people in there, let me know. Let me tell you, I'm bald, okay? So I gave my dick a pompadour. It looked pretty cool. I gotta admit, it looked pretty fucking cool. But I didn't wash that shit out because it stole music from black people. It's real awkward, man. Not any size, though. What is it with travel? Anybody here like travel? You guys ever go places, travel? You like to go places? You travel over here? No? You gotta travel inside of the room and non-travel. I'm with the non-travel inside of the room. I gotta be honest with you. You know, you can get diarrhea at home. I don't know why. I don't know why you need to travel $5 footlong, man. You know? 1 out of 3 is gonna be just as good as any trip to any place you could fucking go with a passport, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. Travel. No, isn't that just for people who do sex trafficking? I don't know. It's according to the newspapers, there is no other reason to go abroad other than to buy children. I mean, or set up a sneaker factory where you buy children to work. So it's all the same goddamn thing. You guys, coming to the stage is somebody that I want to shout out to. He's as far as I know, one of maybe 3 people who voted for me in Portland's funniest comedian or whatever the fuck that is. Really proud of that vote, you guys. I'm taking that to the bank. This guy, I don't know. I don't want to jinx it, man. Is it going to be Jojo Rabbit this week? Let's find out. Let's find out. Well, Mr. James Fitz has been enjoying. Let's give it up for James Fitz.
Oh, I'm getting a call right now, actually. I have a friend, my cousin's on his way to be an audience member. Hey, what's up, Jacob? Come to the back of the Ming Lounge. I'm on stage right now, believe it or not. Anyway, it's my cousin Jacob. Maybe he'll walk in at any moment. What's up, fam? How you doing? It's me, it's James. Back again. So you guys having a good new year? Pretty good new year? It's been better than last year, maybe a little bit? Yeah. At least trying our best, right? Working hard, working medium. Maybe working a little bit. I'm at least getting up in the morning, right? That's step number 1. Step number 2, I'm trying to be more assertive in my life. Trying to assert, you know? Trying to be more dominant. Trying to assert more dominance. That's what I'm trying to say. Trying to assert more dominance in my life. It's hard, you know? You gotta have some moves, right? So I got this new move. Just started pulling it out. What I do, you invite me to your house, and I say, hey, can I use your oven? Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, were you using it? You're in the middle of baking something up? I didn't think so. Turn it up to 375. Ooh, I wonder why. Pull out a sleeve. Cookie dough. Yeah! Oh. What do you think about that? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna stop me from making cookies? I'm a good guy. I've got cookies. Slide them in the oven. Start to smell pretty good. Oh, you want a cookie? You want a cookie? I thought so. I got the cookies. I got the power. Dominance. That's right. And after we eat all the cookies, I'm not doing the dishes. Oh, dominance. That's right. That's just move number 1. Move number 2. I come to your house. I bring my own light bulbs. Different color. Yeah. I'm not sitting under your light. Purple. That's right. If I'm going to be sitting, it's going to be under purple. All the girls be like, James, you look so purple in all your photos. I'm like, damn right I do. Like, how do you look so purple in all your photos? Because I bring my own light bulbs. Dominance. So I guess that's a 4-minute bit. Should come up with another way to be dominant in my life. Oh, anyway, if you guys know any way to be dominant in your life. I can only sustain it for 4 minutes, I suppose. Back to pacificity. 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 Ugh. Used to think I was an optimist. Was going through life thinking I was an optimist this whole time. Blissfully ignorant. Until I realized the other day, got a phone call from an unknown number. Yeah. That'll change your mind real quick. Oh, maybe it's $1 million! Your mind goes through all the things you haven't solved in your life.
Oh, God.
Every single one of them real quick. I don't even know what that area code is. Is it that credit card from What relative do I know who lives in that state? Even worse, that's what it is. I went through my voicemail today. Oof, you ever sit down and say, hey, I got another 45 minutes to be terrified? It's like playing Russian roulette with every problem you've ever had, everything you've avoided. Oh, you're thankful for the spam, really. Like you're like, oh, good, it's just medical insurance. Hi, it's your mom calling in, just checking in on you. October 29th, 1980. I gotta keep all those ones. Anyway, I've been pretty good here. This has been alright. You guys have been a great crowd. I've been
Keep it going for James Fitz. One of Portland's funniest and weirdest fucking comics. Which is a big title to achieve. Yeah, me and James actually, we have a podcast together. If you guys ever, it's just as weird as James. It's the Goldblum Room. It's officially on actual streaming services, which makes it legit. Not on Spotify yet. Fuck you, Spotify. Yeah. It's literally a podcast about Jeff Goldblum. Which there's endless content. I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you guys know how weird Jeff Goldblum is. Is this news to everybody? Cool. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know. Like, I love this room, and I don't know if you guys know how good you have it in Portland. Like with the mics you guys have here. I was in San Francisco a while back and did a mic there, and a fight broke out immediately. Yeah. Violence, punk rock, blah. But like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I've been to the Bay Area a couple times, but I thought Oakland was like the rough part of town, right? Like, what if this is how fucking mics go in San Francisco? What the fuck is happening in Oakland? You know, because like typically you get a light when you have a minute left in comedy, but I figure in Oakland, Instead of a light, you just hear the host safety on their gun click off, and that's how you know you have a minute left. Which is obviously a joke. Because real gangsters don't use safeties. That's why you always hear about them shooting their dicks off, right? All right. Let's. Our next comic is very funny. Give it up for Andrea Hall.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hey. I was gonna ask how you guys are doing, but let's be real, no one cares. Oh, that make you sad.
Good, we're good.
Yeah, I feel like people should be more honest when you ask them how you're doing. Like, that should be a new normal. Don't mind me light redecorate, it's kind of a thing. Yeah, you should be able to go up to someone and be like, hey, how are you doing? And they're like, well, you know, suicidal, how are you? Fine, can I have a latte? I love this mic, it makes me sound so much more fun. I'll tell you how I'm doing. My ex-husband's in the audience today.
Yeah!
I was married to a white guy for 5 years, and I know that he's here today, but which one is he? Oh, hey, no, hold on. He's here. Yeah, I'm divorced. As soon as I got divorced, a lot of people came up to me and started asking me what happened. They wanted very specific details, more drama, you know, that type of thing. What happened? Was he cheating on you? Is he gay? So brave. I love it when people come up to me and make up stories about me to my face and then buy them before I have time to say anything. I just kind of roll with it. Yeah, he is. Now he is. Yeah, I promised him that I wouldn't talk about him tonight, but to be fair, I also promised that we would be together forever, so feels like a teachable moment. I don't often talk about my ex-husband because I'm just more interesting than he is. I'm originally from Mexico. Thank you. Yes. It's been a good 7 years since I jumped over the wall. I still have people ask me where my accent's from. I don't know where the accent's from. I bought it off eBay. I'm gonna say China. It's from there. I'm gonna read the label. Every accent that I might have is fake because this isn't my first language. So you just kind of roll with it. Yeah, many reasons why I'm divorced. I feel one of them is just I'm not a patient man. For obvious reasons, because there is no such thing as a patient man. Men get to be human, they get to be frustrated, and then they get sad. But society says that men aren't allowed to get sad, so they quickly move over to angry, and then they break things, like the economy. Thank you. We need that. We need that to support Meghan Markle in her time of need. Oh my God. For only 5 cents a month, you guys could make sure that she will never get bullied again. For being so gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's out here like easy breezy, beautiful princess girl. No problems at all. And the British are like, is that a freckle in her face? No, it's just her skin tone.
It's true, but
It's not okay with us. I feel another reason why I'm divorced is I just got married really young. I was 22, and I don't know what kind of mistakes you all made when you were 22, but I am ready to guarantee that they are not sitting here today. Just mine. Yeah, I was young. I feel like most women, I was brought up to feel that marriage is the end goal, and what I'm gonna do to keep other girls from feeling that way is I'm gonna come up with this board game. It's called Marriage. The game is called Marriage. It's kind of like life, but secretly teaches you about divorce. And I could see girls just having so much fun playing this all day. They'll be like, Stacy, it's your turn to throw the dice. And she's like, okay, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God, he proposed. You're getting married. Quick, grab a husband card. Okay. Okay. He proposed. Congratulations. He did also draft your prenup already. That doesn't check out. I thought he loved me. I mean, I haven't met him, but hold on, there's more. Also, he's got 2 teenage daughters from a previous, but fuck this. Flips the table over. Picture like a 10-year-old saying this. You're like, fuck this. Table over. Pieces everywhere. Husband cards everywhere. So many chats. Oh, I like that one. I do have a daughter, and I'm really sad that the Nike people aren't here anymore because I was going to make them feel bad for having third world country kids make their stuff.
Yeah.
There's always tomorrow. I made my kid from scratch by myself, non-organic, homemade. Yeah, she's great. I don't know why American society has this idea that moms aren't cool. I have a almost 3-year-old girl who thinks that she's cooler than me, and I'm like, excuse me, but if you're cool, I'm cool because I made you, so shut up. Yeah, she's half white, so she can be half anything she wants to be one day. I'm very proud. Thank you so much for listening to me for longer than my ex-husband ever did. In a row, too. My name is Andrea Hall. I know, but that's a story for another day. Thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience of mainly straight white men, and I don't often say that. You should feel very, very entitled right now.
Special.
Woo! Woo! Let's keep it going for Andrea Hall, everybody. Oh my goodness, you guys. I just had a couple of thoughts before I bring up the next and final comedian of the evening, our headliner comic this evening, making a special appearance. Just a couple of thoughts I had. First and foremost, I want to tell all you nice Gentile, non-Jewish people out there that from the Jewish community, the bottom of our heart, we appreciate your allyship, okay? We really do. But just, could you do me a favor? Could you do all of us a favor and stop saying J.K. Rowling's goblins look like us, okay? It's not fucking cool. Fine, you know, I went through this shit with Next Generation and the fucking Ferengi already. I don't want to hear it. I appreciate, yes, Gene Roddenberry was a bigot and all that stuff. And yes, every fucking Ferengi was a fucking Jew. That's fine. Like, I mean, it was a little on the nose, no pun intended, that he hired a bunch of fucking guys who were Jews to play the part of Ferengis on that fucking show. The money grubbers, I get it. Have a secret fucking government, I get it. You couldn't call them the fucking Zogs? Was that the fucking problem with that show? Like, leave it to the guy from Idaho to get that shit. Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is like not even anything I wrote, but I just saw this recently. Because the joke was great. There's this program done, have a great night, you guys. There's this program, oh, really? Have you been listening to anything I've said? Because you should have left. It's honestly awful. It's honest. I've walked the community. A room is no big deal to me. But it's a video. It's made for Orthodox kids by Orthodox Jews. Those are the fucking payas, the curly ones, right? The fur hat brigade. And it's called Five-ish. And I came across it because I was researching Five-ish Finkel because I was like, he's an actor. Anyways, it's Jew shit. And he's a $5 bill who tells children like life lessons, little Jewish kids, and it's not ironic at all. It's totally like he's your friend and it's money. And listen to things that he says, and he says things on the show like, I don't care what he says. Sell when it hits 40, and. You tell him that we're the ones that got him elected on a children's program. And yeah, it's a great show. It's on YouTube, look it up. And the comment that I heard that I really liked was, it's like the guys who made Wonder Shows and got really into Stormfront. And me, the Idaho guy, definitely got that one, you guys. I had some people, this is a true story. I got fired from the zoo for saying inappropriate things, shocker.
What?
Yeah, to children. And
yeah.
Whatever, look, you can't say dick beaters to kids, but you can burn them with 400-degree oil all day long for minimum wage. That doesn't seem fair to me. Not on purpose, but we didn't do a lot to prevent it from happening. Right. So these people came into the restaurant where I was working at the zoo, and the woman had a black T-shirt on with skulls, you know, those skulls with lightning bolts. Like it was like a tuxedo T-shirt, but for like if you want to work in a, you know, at Bergen-Belsen. And I just said to my boss, who was there, I said 100% guarantee they're from Idaho. And see, they say stereotyping people is wrong, but when you're fucking that right, I mean, is it really? Because they were fucking from Idaho. Yeah, absolutely correct. It was great, you guys. Sorry. Ooh. By the way, they fired me. They will not. The zoo has no policy. You could wear fucking Nazi shit to the zoo, which I have mixed feelings about because as a form of protest, I would like that, you know, like to shove it in their face. But I am literally a disgruntled employee, you know. So I don't want to prove anybody right at this point about me, right? That's my one goal in life is to not prove anybody right, except for the racist shit. I gotta let them have it, you know. I'm just kidding. I'm not a racist. I'm a bigot. It's a big difference. You guys coming to the stage. It's our headline comedian tonight. I'm very excited to see this person. I'm told they're huge. They're an incredible talent. They've been firing it up all over Reddit. So let's give it up for Greg Gorey, everybody.
Woo! 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 Right. So buttons in the front, I hear.
That's what my mom told me.
Oh, that's in the back, in my opinion. What used to say. So I met my girlfriend on Tinder, which is a sentence you don't hear a lot. It's like, I went to a whorehouse and met my wife there. So I went looking for one thing and finally made a connection. And for that, I looked at my phone. Okay, so I don't miss Tinder because a lot of time girls on their profiles say, I want to go on adventures. And like, and usually they're like from out of state and just moved here. And like, assume by adventures, they mean like, take me to Multnomah Falls, take me on a hike in the forest, like let's have a picnic, let's go to the 8 caves, let's just stroll down a trail together. And I'm like, bitch, like the only like adventures I have in my life is like going out to like 162nd and waiting in a Wendy's parking lot for like 4 hours to score like 2 grams of crack. Like, that's the adventure I can take you on. So let me know if you want to go on that. And that was what inspired me earlier when the person was talking about their stories on crack. I'm like, I leaned over to Brett and I'm like, dude, if I tell them like actual real stories on crack, this is comparable. Like, let's see. First time.
Couch on the road.
Okay, so no, I'm not gonna tell that one. That's the lowest point in my life ever. Like, let's start on a lower or a higher level, depending on how you gauge it. But okay, so one time I was walking home from my friend's house. I was like drunk and ran into some street person in North Portland at like 2 a.m. He was like, "Yo, man, like, you want to hit this pipe?" And I'm like, "What is it?" He's like, "Crack." And I'm like, he passes it to me, and we're like smoking and like walking. Some street person that's like 20 years older than me I've never met, and, which is obviously chill. And so we're walking up, and then surprise, surprise, he had an alternate angle. Once he gave me the 2 hits of crack, and I enjoyed it, he was like, "Yo, man, I'm out of money, but I know a guy that can get a sack if you got some money." And I'm like, okay. Like, I got some money, man. Let's get some more of that shit. And so we wandered around all night for like 3 hours, like trying to hit up like different people. And then finally got some. And then spent another like 2 hours wandering around, smoking crack. And I was tagging at the time. And at the time I was tagging Gray. And so I was writing on like, of course, like every like mailbox. I'm like, Gray, Gray, Gray. And he's like, man, you sure do like writing Gray on things. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, man, we need some booze. And he's like, I ain't got no money. And I'm like, well, I do on my debit card. And I'm like, but I don't have an ID. And I'm like, here you go, a nice man. I just know a nice crackhead. I just went on the street. Take my debit card. My PIN number is such and such. Go get us a couple 40s. He's like, all right, man. And that's an example of why I'm the luckiest motherfucker. Like, obviously, I'm so lucky that crackhead didn't run off with my whole, like, $70 in my account and my PIN number. But he was a very trustful crackhead. And ran in with my debit card, used my PIN, got us a couple 40s. And then we were walking back I was heading back to my place with him. And we were, like, around the corner, and he's like, you want to get like another rock or something? And I'm like, well, it's easy, man. And I'm like, I don't even have a pipe. He's like, you can have my pipe, you can buy a rock, man. In case you're not familiar, a fucking pipe for a crack pipe is a stem of like glass tubing with like some Brillo pad in it. It's a very complex device that's very expensive. But he's like, you can have my pipe, man. I'm like, okay. And then he gave it to me like a corner around from my house at the time. And we're sitting there, and we're like, just like chatting. And he like leans over to me. He's like, you know what I really like? He's like, no bullshit. He leans in and he's like, you know, but I really just like skinny white boys. And I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like, and then I was like, have a nice night, man. And luckily I was just like half a block away, so I just ran to my front door. And then I got to hit that sick crack resin. So that's my time.
Yeah!
Good going, everybody. Let's keep it going. Crack party. I think we all like kind of glossed over the part of that story where it was, hey, what's in the bowl? Crack? Okay. Because what would have been a no at that point? Well, what could have possibly, if crack was that much of a yes, what could have been a no? You know, like a dog turd. I mean, let me think about it a minute. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Good golly, you guys. Well, if I want to leave you guys with something, you know, meaningful, thoughtful. They say comedy is the best medicine. And if my experiences in Portland comedy have been any indicator, that medicine is not Valtrex. You guys have a beautiful night. I'll be HotBoxers. See you online. See you next week. Peace out.
Say, among liars, blame the denier. So you wanna start a war in the age of icons. So you wanna be immortal with a loaded gun. So you wanna start a war. So you wanna start a war.
Let's do this shit for real. Come on now.